Okay, go ahead.
All right, we are here at Aria. Time to get in there. Okay, that, whatever. Okay. All right, guys. So we had a pretty rough day yesterday. We came in second to chips and pretty disappointed with how it ended up. We got 5th place. Yeah, it was a cash, which is good, but when you're in second place, you're really hoping for at least a 4th or a 3rd. A 2nd would have been nice, and obviously you got a shot at the win, but to get 5th place, it was kind of disappointing. You know, right out of the gate, I lost an all-in versus Seidel, jammed Queen 3 suited into Ace 8. Then, you know, a couple other smaller pots, had an all-in with the 10s we talked about yesterday, and then, you know, a couple all-ins versus Bryn Kenny. Get it in with King 8 against 6s, lose. Get it in with 4s against Queen 8, lose. And that's life, you know. So that's going to happen sometimes. You can't beat yourself up. I think I played good. I'm all right with, you know, all the decisions that I did make. But just the way the game goes, sometimes you can't win. Luckily, the poker gods have given me another opportunity today to make something happen. Today's even better than yesterday for a bunch of reasons. First off, even though I have less chips, I have 1.35 today, and I think I had 1.44 yesterday, or maybe I had 1.34, whatever, about 100K difference. Even though I have less chips, the field's a bit smaller, so I have a higher percentage of all of the chips. There's about 4.8 million chips in play, and I've got 1.34, so, you know, roughly 26-27% of all the chips. Good situation to be in, and I'm chip leader opposed to being second in chips. So never going to be all in out of the gate. I'm always going to be putting the other person at risk and not myself, which is great. And then also, not to mention, another great thing today. Yesterday we were all coming in the money. Today, one lucky guy is going to get to play 2 days of poker and get nothing, nada, zilch for his effort. So that means there's going to be some more pressure on short stacks, which is kind of nice if you're a big stack. If you're a big stack, you can capitalize on that and put some pressure on people. So, better situation today. A little less up top, 820,000 instead of 960. So that, you know, isn't as good. But better chance to take it down, and I'm happy with the opportunity in front of me. So, one more thing actually about why today is better. The seating arrangement, the positioning is much better too. The only other really big stack, Brandon Adams, he's 2 to my right, which means I'm going to have position on him, which is certainly a good advantage on the other big stack. So really just across the board better spot. And it sucks when you make a final table with a lot of chips and you just, you know, don't do well. But to get a chance to come back right away and rectify my mistake, well, not mistakes, but, you know, whatever, poor finish, poor performance, if you will, with another final table with the chip lead, I'm really grateful for that opportunity. And that's really the best thing about having all these tournaments in a row. If you squander an opportunity, you get another chance the next day to try and, you know, make it happen again. So hopefully we can actually book a decent sized win today. The good news is, barring a total disaster today, I will be up money this week. We're in for 250K, 252K. I had one buy-in with Rake, and I've already cashed for 144. If I get 6th place, I would cash for, I think, 96, 97, which should put me down around $10,000, $15,000. Not a bad week at all. Basically break even when we're talking about $50,000 buy-ins. So unless I just somehow get 7th, which would be a really terrible day. It'd be a really terrible day. We're going to end up at least break even with some really good upside. So let's talk about who's in the lead to win the jacket right now. Stefan Sontenheimer is by far and away in the lead to take it down. He has gotten a victory for around 920,000. He also had another final table where he cashed for some amount. I don't know the exact total. And he's 3rd in chips today. The guy is crushing it. Funny story, the only other event that there was, he bubbled the final table. He actually made the unofficial final table and busted with 10s to finish in 8th place and not make the money. So, you know, this guy is crushing it. And in fact, if he has a good score today, if he gets 1st or 2nd, it might not even be possible to beat him by winning the 100K. So you might have to have some good cashes and win the 100K to beat him for the purple jacket. So he's by far and away the runaway leader for the jacket. And if he does have a cash in the 100K, it's just over. This guy's going to win. All right, guys, first break of the day. Things are going pretty well. We're up to 1.85. Right out of the gate, I open ace jack, big blind flats, jack 7-3, bet flop, he calls, turn 9, bet turn, he calls, river king, check, check, and he has 7. So right out of the gate, we were down like, I don't know, a couple hundred K. Lost a few more pots to a few strong hands from our opponents, and then all of a sudden we got things going. Got a couple of light 3-bets through, a couple of post-off bluffs, made it. A couple post-off, English guys, English. A couple post-flop bluffs worked as well, and then we had a really big hand. So let's talk about this hand real quick. Follows me on the button. I've got around 1.3 million. Big blind has around, I'm gonna say 900K. I open with my 4th favorite hand. You guys know what it is, pocket jacks. He calls in the big. So I make it 45K at 10K, 20K with a 20K ante on the big blind calls. The flop is ace, jack. Why can't I remember this? I'm gonna say ace, jack 4, all spades. Could be, no, ace, jack, deuce, all spades. He checks. I bet 37, 38,000. He calls. At this point, I think he has a lot of aces, a lot of spades. I don't think he has too many deuces, and obviously does not have many jacks, because I have 2 jacks. Anyway, he calls. The turn comes a low brick. Which card exactly, I forget. We'll figure it out. Put that card up on the board. He checks. Doesn't really change anything though. You know, really, if I have a flush or top pair, I'm still good. And if I don't, then sorry. If he has, let me rephrase this. If he has a flush, I'm not good. But anything else, I'm still ahead of. And a lot of his spades have equity against my hand, so I'm looking to bet turn and get some value. I bet about 2/3 pot, 135K on the turn, ramping things up in case he does have the nut flush draw or an ace. Makes the call. The river is, I'm gonna go ahead and safely say, the best card in the deck. The river is a jack. So I improved to quads on the river. He checks, and now I like a little bit smaller size in relation to the pot. The reason is because I think if he has a hand like the king of spades, those are gonna have a harder decision against that size. In general, on the flush boards, I like to use a bigger turn size, smaller river size. So I go ahead and bet about 260,000 on the river into about 450, 460K. He snap calls, has a flush, up to 1.85 million, currently chip leading with 5 left. Let's see if we can take this one down. All right, second break of the day. We are down to 1.35 million. Edge of glory, guys. At one point, we had over half the chips here. Got to like 2.5 at peak. Lost about half our stack. The blinds are huge. We're coming back to a $50,000 big blind. I think it might be a 40K big blind with a 40K ante. Either way, massive stakes. So, you know, you can play your best and, you know, try and make some moves when you possibly can. But at the end of the day, like, picking up hands at this point is really what's going to be all about. So nothing too crazy interesting. Oh wait, sorry. Actually, we did have an interesting hand that happened at that level. So blinds are 20K, 40K. I'm in the small blind with ace 6 suited. Brandon Adams opens the button to 90,000. I make it 305,000. I think we have roughly the same size stacks. I might cover him slightly, he might cover me slightly, but we both have around 2 million to begin the hand. So I make it 305,000, he calls. The flop is king 8-6. So I flop bottom pair, 2 diamonds, 1 spade, no backdoor flush draw for me. I check it over to him, and he bets kind of small on the flop, I think 250, 300. I go ahead and check call. Turn is an amazing card, it's a 6. So we turn 3 of a kind with the best possible kicker. I check once again, he checks it back. River is an interesting card, it's a king. So now if you bet a king on the flop and check the turn, he has a higher boat than me. I decided to go ahead and just play conservatively, go for the check, looking to check call. If he does decide to come after the pot, it's nice to have some strong hands. I check, he checks back, and we win at showdown. I don't know what he had, but we did win that hand. So we are chipping down. What's up, man? What's up, man? How's it going? So anyway, we're currently in second place in chips, 1.35. D. Peters has around 800 or 900K, and Brandon Adams got the rest. So in second place, a little bit under average stack, and hopefully we can get heads up here. I love heads up, even though I've been not doing so hot lately. Heads up, definitely my game, and if we can get there, we got a good shot to take this down. have made it to heads up. We just got aces in an extremely clutch situation. Button opens. I 3-bet to 260. Button opens to 90. I 3-bet the small blind to 265 with aces. Big blinds deep heaters. He goes all in for something around like 600 or so. Button rejams and covers everyone. I go obviously all in with my aces. I'm up against pocket eights and ace king. Ace king for the button, eights for deep heaters. Flop comes queen jack 7. I was like, oh god, don't do it. No 10. Turn 7, river queen. We stack deep heaters. We hold against ace king. We are now heads up. We got the chip lead with a great shot to take it down.
Could this be the moment where Doug Polk decides,
I'm on.
yeah, you do too much of this.
I call.
Snap call by Adams.
Doug is going to hate this.
God damn it. Really? Oh my god, I'm destroyed. Oh my god, brutality.
5 would be no good for Polk, because of course that would give Adams
all right, well,
the straight.
I need a 4 or a 7. Wow, this is really bad. Jesus.
Heads up play did not go as we hoped. We ended up getting second place. We didn't play any pots that were too major. The biggest hand that we played, I called it a raise the big blind with Jack 8 suited. We're both around 2.4 million deep to begin the hand. Flop comes Jack 5-5. Things are looking good for us. I check. He bets about 160,000 on the flop. Blinds to 20k, 40k, and I call it a raise to 120. So he bets 160k in the flop. I check call. Turns a king. Flush draw bricks on the turn. I check again. Now he fires about 320, 340,000. So, you know, pretty clear call still with a jack. I'll have a bunch of kings in this spot as well, but definitely going at least 2 and maybe 3 on some runouts with this jack. So I go ahead and check call. The river comes the ace that completes the flush, which is just a brutal river. I check. He bets like 580,000. Now, if I had a club, I might be able to consider a call. But when you have Jack 8, the 8 of diamonds is a card I'd like him to have. I don't block any flushes. I can have a bunch of kings. I can have a few flushes, although that's not really too likely. And I can also have a hand like Queen 10 that check calls twice. So I decided to lay down the river. Tough spot there. Not really much you can do. Anyway, then I was down around 1.5 million or so. Open up 5-4 of diamonds. Get a call. King 8-6 2 diamonds. So I flop a gutter and a flush draw. Check. I go ahead and bet about 100,000 on the flop. Get check raise 320. I jam. He calls, and I'm up against 9-7 of diamonds, which is brutal because I'm like dead to everything. Like my flush isn't good. My 5 isn't good, so I need a 4 or a 7, or it's just not going to get it done. And ultimately, he hit the flush, and I was eliminated from the tournament. So, you know, tough break. Not much you can do. I'm happy that I got second place. You know, a couple final tables in a row, and that giveaway is actually looking pretty good now, guys. The giveaway is at something around, say, $350,000. So we're giving away $3,500 at least. Last event is tomorrow. It is a 100K. So bare minimum 3.5K giveaway. Could be more. I'm happy with how I played the day, and I'm glad that I booked to win this week at Poker Masters. So make sure to enter that giveaway in the link below. And one last event, the highest stakes one yet to come, 100K freeze out, starts tomorrow. I'll vlog that too. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel and everything. I'll see you guys tomorrow.